Hi everyone, this is Laura Gadenik with Laura Gadenik Astrology, and I'm here to give you the astrology for the weeks of August 21st through September 3rd, 2023. Before I get started, I just want to remind you to like and subscribe and maybe comment about your experiences with the astrology. Helps the channel to grow, and I'd also love to hear from you. Okay, so the next couple weeks, there are some really important transits and astrological events happening. So first off, starting on Tuesday, the 22nd of August, we have Venus, who is still currently retrograde, making a square to Jupiter in Taurus. And then we also have Mars in Virgo making an opposition to Neptune. So there's kind of two parts to this day. So Mars opposite Neptune. Mars is our energy, how we take action, how we're motivated or not motivated. Neptune is this very dreamy, whimsical planet that has to do with vision, what inspires us, as well as what deludes us and what mystifies us or what leads us on, perhaps. So when Mars, a planet about our energy and how we're motivated, runs into Neptune in this more tense aspect, you could feel a little drained. You could feel more tired, perhaps a little unmotivated or a little sad or blue. If you're someone who struggles with depression, this might be a day where depression is heightened, or there might be some grief underneath the surface of that depression or sadness that might be time to work through it. Things might feel a bit more existential in a sense, or kind of you might be wondering well, what's the meaning or purpose of any of this, right? On the other hand, Neptune being a planet about dreams and vision and what is glamorous to us, you might feel especially inspired to do something or driven to act based on a vision, based on an ideal, a cause, something that is magical to you. I want to there's a warning here with this transit, so being careful of possible delusion or seeing things with rose-colored glasses. There's always that possibility with Neptune. Overall, Tuesday the 22nd, and you're going to be feeling this also on Monday the 21st. You might have even been feeling this on Sunday, today the 20th. Overall, this is a good day to relax. Don't work too hard, don't work too much if you can help it. Find a flow state. Neptune rules over flow states, and things like dreams, like dreams you have for your life, but also dreams when you're sleeping. And Neptune also rules over states of being that are not of this world, but are otherworldly in a sense. So meditation, right? Meditation kind of gets you into this other state of mind, other state of being, into a kind of flow state that could feel otherworldly, so to speak. It's a really good day for imagination, for creativity, for relaxation. It's a good day to get into meditative states or into flow states. So things that get you into a flow state might be something like music or art or dance or golf or, whatever it is for you, cooking, anything that gets you into that kind of meditative zone. And also it's a good day for that because Venus is squaring Jupiter. These are the two benefic planets, and when Venus comes into aspect with Jupiter, it's kind of like a day of excess, or maybe a day to appreciate excess or to indulge a little bit more than you normally would, and to enjoy the good things in life, to really prioritize comfort and pleasure and beauty and joy and all the good things, all the fun things. Also, something else I want to say about this Venus square Jupiter, this is part of a larger cycle. So Venus, currently retrograde, is going to be in this square to Jupiter for an entire month, and that's because Venus is slowing down right now to station direct on September 4th. And so she's within this 3-degree range of Jupiter, basically from now until end of September. So what does this mean? So we are, there's part of this cycle, this Venus retrograde cycle, there's something that we are coming to terms with around something that maybe has been excessive in our life over the last couple of months. So things like pleasures, pleasures, thinking about what is pleasurable. That could be things like sweets, like maybe you've been indulging a little too much in sugar, or I don't know. And also if you're someone who indulging is fine, there's nothing wrong with it, but maybe this is just an example I'm using. So maybe for you, you have been indulging in more foods that are not as healthy for you, etc. So you might have been indulging in sweets and things like shopping, maybe relationships, maybe having too many relationships, or spending too much money or something. Maybe too much play, not enough responsibility, perhaps, just an idea. So you might be coming to terms with something that's been excessive in your life. And I say excessive because squares are a bit tense and indicate some sort of conflict or something that is a bit more difficult, right? And Jupiter is all the things that are big and excessive and exuberant, etc. So the other thing is Jupiter brings healing. Jupiter brings peace. Jupiter brings forgiveness. So there might be part of this Venus retrograde cycle might be about healing around relationships, around Venus things, around your personal sense of value or values, around love, beauty, pleasure. There's going to be this journey of healing, or that's part of what this journey is. And also there might be some healing or a broader perspective you're gaining, Jupiter being broader perspective, around what this Venus retrograde has been about for you. So let's say, for instance, Venus being a planet about relationships and love, and when it goes retrograde, oftentimes issues in relationships arise, friendships, maybe some conflict, maybe feeling like you're not being treated well or loved enough or valued enough, Venus and Leo. So healing or broader perspective around what this Venus retrograde has been about for you. And that might also include the house topics where we have Leo. So whatever house that has Leo on the cusp, these house themes have been under great review. So this Venus square Jupiter is a pretty important aspect that's going to be at play for the next several weeks. Okay, so I hope that was not confusing. Wednesday the 23rd, we have the sun heading into Virgo, and we also have Mercury stationing retrograde at 21 degrees of Virgo. So Virgo season starts, and pretty much the entire time Mercury, the planet that rules the sign of Virgo, is going to be moving backwards, in the sign of Virgo. So Mercury retrogrades often have a negative connotation. Oftentimes they're perceived as not being very fun. And that is sometimes true. Mercury retrogrades always indicate a sense of moving back over something, reviewing something, reflecting upon something. And sometimes that can be hard. Sometimes it's not fun. Sometimes it's annoying, right? And it might be a little bit, but also Mercury is very happy in the sign of Virgo. In ancient astrology, Mercury is known to be dignified and exalted in the sign of Virgo, so it has a lot of strength here. So this Mercury retrograde is actually going to be a lot more productive, a lot more I don't want to say fun, but not as difficult as other Mercury retrogrades. It's going to be more helpful. So we're going to be reflecting, reviewing, reconsidering things in the part of our charts that contain Virgo, whatever house that is for you. And also Mercury retrogrades, generally speaking, you know, it often has to do with like some sort of upgrade that we need to do with a Mercury thing. So Mercury things being communication tools or devices. So maybe, you know, common thing is like your phone breaks or your computer shuts down or your car stereo stops working or something like that. And it's almost like Mercury retrograde is like reflecting the fact that you need to upgrade something or update something, etc. So all the common like classic Mercury retrograde snafus can happen, like transportation delays or breakdowns, communication delays or breakdowns. What else? Like commerce stuff, like not going as planned or well. Like you might have to like return something you purchased. You might have to like redo paperwork around something. Yeah, so those are just kind of like common general Mercury retrograde themes that generally happen. With Virgo, since this is happening, Virgo's all about skill development, all about honing a skill, getting really good at something, getting very precise. So this might be a time where you are being asked to hone your skill, hone a skill in something, become better at it, practice. You might also be having to sort through something, clean something out, or edit something. Those are all very Virgo terms. Also, Mercury being in its own sign of Virgo, a sign about communication, and Mercury is also a planet about communication. This might be a time where you are, there's an opportunity to practice more effective communication and to learn how to become a better communicator. So it's also a good time for that. The entire time Mercury is retrograde in Virgo, Mercury will be in a whole sign trine to Jupiter. So whole sign just meaning like the entire sign of Virgo is in the aspect of a trine to the whole sign of Taurus, where Jupiter is. So trines are positive, beneficial, uplifting. Jupiter is positive, beneficial, uplifting. So that gives extra evidence that this Mercury retrograde will be positive, beneficial, and uplifting. It's going to be good. It's going to be helpful. It's going to bring maybe peace or forgiveness, or, you know, giving people more grace than usual. A sense of inspiration, optimism, and hope, Jupiter things. So I really think this Mercury retrograde is going to be really productive and useful and positive. So Mercury is going to be retrograde until September 15th. That's the time frame from the 23rd of August to September 15th, where we will be reviewing something, going over, sorting, cleaning, sifting through, editing, etc. And it's going to be retrograde from 21 degrees of Virgo to 8 degrees of Virgo. So if you have planets or points being ascendant, descendant, midheaven, IC, around those degrees or within those degrees, this will be a more significant Mercury retrograde for you. If you don't have planets in Virgo or major points, it's still going to be, Mercury is still going to be having you reviewing something. Because even though we don't all have planets in every sign, we all have a house that is in every sign. So yeah, so for instance, if you have Virgo in the third house cusp, on the third house cusp, but no planets there, you're still going to be reflecting, reviewing upon communication, third house topics, neighbors, siblings, learning your own mind, how you learn, your daily life, daily ritual, daily routine, that'll still be under review as an example. Okay, so moving on. Thursday the 24th, Mars in Virgo makes a trine to Pluto in Capricorn. This is going to be kind of like a pick-me-up from that earlier time in the week when Mars was opposite Neptune and bringing that kind of more dreamy, sleepy quality. Mars trine Pluto helps with energy, helps with motivation. You're going to feel this sense of being able to do things more powerfully, more effectively, and in a more determined way. watch out for being a bit obsessive about it. Pluto can be obsessive. This aspect is about passionate intensity. It's about sustained levels of energy. Sex might come into the picture as well. Both of these planets, Mars and Pluto, also have to do with sex and sexual energy. So sexual empowerment, primal energy. I mean, sex is a primal kind of energy. It's where life springs from, quite literally. Mars trine Pluto is also the sense of regenerating something, regenerating perhaps your energy. And it could be regeneration or transformation, or the sense of being reborn through sexuality, through sex. Doesn't have to be. It could also just be something. It could be anything. It could be something else. So that's Thursday the 24th. And then on Sunday the 27th, this kind of feels like a bummer again. The sun is opposing Saturn. So Sun in Virgo opposing Saturn in Pisces. Saturn is a planet about responsibility, duty, commitment, getting things done. So you might also feel like you have to get things done, or you have more responsibility than usual, or you might have to just do something hard or work hard at something. You might also be getting some sort of harsh feedback, or you might receive it as being harsh. Maybe it's not intended as harsh. You might be being told no in a sense, or coming up against a boundary or limit, whether it's someone else's limit or boundary or your own personal limit or boundary. So yeah, this is not the most fun aspect. And you might feel it earlier, starting earlier in the week, maybe with that Thursday Mars trine Pluto aspect. So it's actually really good energy from Thursday the 24th through Sunday the 27th. It's a really good time to get things done, to be productive. So very different energy from the beginning of the week, which is more like lay around, lavish yourself, do things that are pleasurable and easy. Like later in the week, 24th to 27th, get things done. Good time for that. Later in the day on the 27th, Mars heads into Libra. So Mars, a planet about action, doing things, getting things done, going after something, goes into Libra, a sign about relationships, a sign about we instead of me. Mars is a planet about me, what do I want? Libra is a sign about we, what do we want? So Mars and Libra are a bit at odds with each other, which makes it hard for Mars to do Mars things. So with Mars and Libra, you might have to work harder to get things done. You might have to get things done or get what you want through others or through collaboration. And it might be kind of annoying sometimes, or maybe you'll love it. It kind of depends on your chart and what's normal for you. So for instance, if you're an Aries sun, or you have a lot of Aries planets, Mars and Libra might be kind of annoying because an Aries person is used to just doing things on their own, being independent, being on their own clock or their own routine or schedule, and not necessarily liking to collaborate as much or go through other people. So this Mars in Libra would be kind of annoying for an Aries person, or with a person with a lot of Aries energy. So that's an example, but so it's going to be different for each person, right? If you are an air sign, Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini, you might love it. It might be helpful, useful. You might be used to it. So anyway, there's a lot of different angles on whether a transit is difficult or easy. So Mars going to Libra, it also brings energy and effort to the part of your chart that contains Libra, whatever house that is for you. I will say Libra is ruled by Venus, planet who's currently retrograde. So your efforts in these Libran ways might fall short, you might need to do a little bit more planning, a little bit more collaboration, or put more effort into the thing. It might take longer to get done. What you start, you might have to start again once Venus stations direct. So that's kind of an idea of when a planet goes into a sign where the ruler of that sign is retrograde, you might have to do things again, essentially. Also, Mars going into Libra. Libra is a sign about, once again, relationships, love, collaboration, beauty, art, those Venus things. So Mars putting our energy towards these topics or these themes more broadly, that would be, that's, you'll see around you, like, maybe you won't see, but that's essentially kind of the idea of like what is likely to happen with Mars in Libra. Also, Mars sometimes brings conflict. It's a planet about conflict. Libra is relationships. So some conflict might come up in relationships that you have to work through. And so I will say, while Mercury is a retrograde, Venus is retrograde, Mars goes into Libra, a sign that it kind of struggles in. Things in relationships might get a little dicey, and you might have to actually work really hard at your communication skills, conflict management skills, conflict resolution skills. It's a really good time. There's a book, Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg. Excellent book for this time frame. Okay, then on Sunday, September 3rd, Venus stations direct at 12 degrees of Leo. Remember, Venus is still within 3 degrees of Jupiter. So Jupiter's helping the situation, bringing a broader perspective, bringing maybe some healing, forgiveness, etc. But also we are turning things around. What we've been, what this Venus retrograde cycle has been about for you is turning around. It's starting, themes are starting to move forward. We're starting to maybe have some more clarity around things, around knowing what we want, what brings us a sense of joy, what brings us a sense of connection, and what we want and value in relationships. And so all of that is starting to maybe become more clear, and we're moving forward again, realigning with those topics, with what's important to us with regards to relationships and our values and what brings us joy. Okay, so we can talk more about that next time. This video is getting a little longer than usual. So I hope that was helpful. I'd love to hear how the astrology is impacting you. And if you are interested in a reading, I'm available for that. Please reach out. Otherwise, I'll be back in a couple weeks with another astrological update. Bye.